going back to the atheism is the default position, is if we say that atheism is the default position, then we'd also have to say that solipsism is the default position as well, because solipsism is basically the view that you can only know that you exist, that your consciousness exists. You can't know anything else, that the external world or if other minds exist. Those are all inferences and hypotheses at best. It's basically Descartes' I think, therefore I am. If we think about this from a scientific point of view, solipsism would be actually very scientific, because, and maybe that's not the right word, so don't nitpick me too much on that, but if we think about it from what we actually know, what we can actually verify, we can only verify our own experience. We have never actually experienced another person's mind, consciousness, but only our own experience of what we assume is their mind and their experience. I hope you can follow along with me with that. I'm not saying that solipsism is correct. I'm just saying that we cannot know if the external world exists. It's a hypothesis, it's an inference, assumption at best, and we operate on that assumption. But notice that that is a realist, physicalist claim. It's not a neutral. The most neutral point would be solipsism, would be just, I think, therefore I am. That's what Descartes came to. I think, therefore, I can only know that I am. I can't know anything else besides the fact that I am, for certain, right? But how does solipsism sit with you, though? You atheists want to deny that solipsism is the default position, but why? Why do you want to deny that? It just throws everything that you think you know under the bus. So I just want you to kind of think about, is your reaction to that valid thinking, or is that just your subjective feelings on that matter? Because if we say atheism is the default position, then we also would have to say that solipsism is as well, because that's even a deeper form of skepticism, and it doesn't really have any worldview other than that we can only know that we exist, or that you exist, right? Can't know anything else. But we still operate off of the assumption. So even a solipsist, even if we assume that solipsism is the default position, a solipsist isn't really a true solipsist. In the same way an atheist really isn't a true disbelief. Let's suspend our belief of God, because a solipsist still acts as if other minds exist. They still interact with the world as if other minds exist. They still interact with the world as if the external world exists. And as an atheist, you still act in a way that your external world exists, and you still live your life in a way that God does not exist, or that religion is foolish. Of course, there's some atheists that are more respectful, that they might just suspend the belief in God, which is valid. I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking for the general ones that want to attack religious folks for having faith in something. Because if you deny that solipsism is the default, then because of it being ridiculous, well then, or like also being impractical, then wouldn't religion be practical for some people, right? So if atheism is practical, and if solipsism is impractical, then maybe religion could have some practical use to it. Doesn't mean it's true, but hey. So the deconstructing, you can deconstruct atheism, because atheism lies in different assumptions about the world, such as external reality, such as physicalism. You can deconstruct atheism because the way that atheists act in their lives isn't just a neutral disbelief. It is a belief that they are arguing and that they are defending. Some of them are critics of religion, and you can't really be a critic of religion if you didn't have some belief about religion. You see, you can't have a belief or a critic or a rejection of theism if you don't have some belief that theism is ridiculous. So I think that is the contradiction that I am seeing there. And let me know what you think of that.